Welcome to the channel of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Enjoy listening. Aliens have abducted all the cats. Chaos has broken out on Earth. The population is calling for revenge. It began on a Tuesday, as most inexplicable disasters do. The skies were clear, the air crisp, and the world oblivious to the calamity about to unfold. By the time the first reports trickled in, it was already too late. Cats, every single one of them, vanished without a trace. From the pampered Persians lounging in penthouses to the scrappy alley cats prowling the streets, they were simply gone. At first, people thought it was some bizarre prank or a coordinated act of theft, but then came the footage. Grainy, shaky videos captured by security cameras and sleepless insomniacs showed the truth. Sleek, metallic crafts descending silently from the heavens, beams of light sweeping up the unsuspecting felines. The crafts disappeared as quickly as they came, leaving behind only confusion and a deafening silence where once there had been purrs and meows. The world spiraled into chaos. Social media erupted with hashtags like "No bring back our cats" and "No on feline freedom." News anchors struggled to maintain composure as they reported on the mass abduction. Scientists, politicians, and conspiracy theorists all clamored for answers, their voices drowned out by the growing unrest. For many, the loss was personal. Cats had been companions, confidants, and in some cases the only family some people had. Their absence left a void that no amount of reasoning could fill. And then there was the practical side of things. Without cats, rodent populations exploded. Cities that once prided themselves on their cleanliness found themselves overrun by rats. Crops suffered as pests went unchecked. The delicate balance of ecosystems began to crumble. But humanity is nothing if not resilient and vengeful. The call for retaliation came swiftly. Governments convened emergency meetings, pooling resources and intelligence. The United Nations, for the first time in decades, found itself united under a single cause: to find the culprits and bring back the cats. Scientists worked around the clock, analyzing the scant evidence left behind. Engineers began designing weapons and ships capable of reaching the stars. Hackers scoured the dark web for any hint of alien communication. And then there were the vigilantes. Ordinary people, driven by grief and rage, took matters into their own hands. They formed groups with names like the Claw Coalition and Purr Patrol, vowing to do whatever it took to bring their furry friends home. They trained in secret, repurposing everyday items into makeshift weapons and armor. They shared tips and strategies online, their forums buzzing with activity. The aliens had made a grave mistake. They had underestimated humanity's capacity for love and its willingness to fight for what it holds dear. The abduction of the cats was not just an act of theft, it was a declaration of war, and humanity was ready to answer. The first breakthrough came from an unlikely source, a retired astrophysicist named Dr. Evelyn Carter, who had spent her twilight years feeding stray cats in her suburban backyard. Her unique bond with felines had led her to study their behavior obsessively for decades, and now that they were gone, she noticed something no one else did. Residual electromagnetic patterns left behind where cats had been abducted. "It's like they left breadcrumbs," she announced during an impromptu live stream that quickly went viral. Within hours, teams of scientists worldwide confirmed her findings. Faint traces of alien energy signatures that could be tracked back to their origin point beyond Earth's atmosphere, a distant star system known only as Zeta 9c in human charts. The mission was clear now. Humanity would follow those breadcrumbs into space itself. Massive efforts began overnight to retrofit existing space technology into warships capable of interstellar travel. The world's brightest minds collaborated. In ways never seen before, engineers from rival nations sharing blueprints over encrypted channels, tech billionaires funding research without hesitation, Even rogue hackers contributing stolen alien data from black market archives rumored to have existed since Roswell. Months passed in feverish preparation until finally, the Bastion, Earth's first interstellar flagship, was complete. A hulking marvel bristling with weaponry designed specifically for unknown extraterrestrial threats. The crew? A mix of elite, military personnel and civilian volunteers who had nothing left to lose. People like Marcus Mittens Delgado, whose childhood Tabby had been his only friend growing up. Or Akiko Tanaka, whose family farm now lay in ruins thanks to unchecked vermin infestation since her barn cats were taken. As the Bastion roared into orbit amidst cheers heard across continents below, it carried not just vengeance, but hope. Hope that somewhere out there among alien stars lay answers, and maybe even redemption for mankind's fury-fueled quest. But deep down, everyone knew one thing above all else. Humanity wasn't coming back empty-handed, not this time, not ever again. The message appeared in the sky as if the universe itself had opened its mouth to speak. It was not written in any language, yet every human could understand it. The words shimmered in a kaleidoscope of colors, bending and twisting as though alive, and they echoed not in the ears, but in the mind. "We are the Felidari," the message began, "a species from beyond your stars. The beings you call cats are not of your world. They are ours." The revelation struck humanity like a thunderclap. People froze in their tracks, staring up at the sky as the message unfolded. Some gasped, others wept, and a few simply stood in stunned silence. Cats, those aloof, enigmatic, creatures that had shared humanity's homes and hearts for millennia, were aliens. The message continued, unyielding and calm. "Long ago, we sent our kind to your planet as emissaries. Their purpose was to observe, to guide, and to assist your species in its growth. They were not meant to be pets or playthings, but collaborators in your evolution." Collaborators? The word hung heavy in the air. Memories of countless moments with cats, curled up on laps, chasing laser pointers, or staring into nothingness as if communing with another dimension, suddenly took on a new weight. "You have advanced far," the Felidari declared. "Your technology has blossomed, your understanding of the cosmos has deepened, but we find it perplexing that you have turned our emissaries into objects of amusement and affection. You have made them cute." A wave of confusion rippled through humanity. Cute? Was that an insult? A compliment? The Felidari seemed almost offended by humanity's penchant for treating cats as cuddly companions. Nevertheless, the message continued, "Their mission is complete. We have come to retrieve them." And just like that, the skies filled with light again. Not words this time, but ships. Thousands of them descended from the heavens like falling stars, each one sleek and silent. Beams of soft blue light swept over cities and countrysides alike, lifting cats into the air by the millions. The abductions were swift and surgical. No cat resisted. No human could intervene. By the time dawn broke across Earth, every feline was gone. For days afterward, humanity reeled. Social media exploded with theories and outrage. "Bring back our cats" trended globally alongside memes of cats wearing tiny space helmets. Scientists scrambled to analyze the energy signatures left behind by the alien ships. Religious leaders called for calm or repentance, depending on their interpretation of events. But then came something no one expected. Silence. Weeks passed without a single word from the Felidari or any sign of their ships. Humanity was left alone with its grief and its questions. Why now? Why take them after so long? And most importantly, what did they mean by saying cats had helped humanity grow technologically? The answer came not from above, but from within. It started with engineers at MIT who noticed something strange. While reviewing old data from their lab cats, yes, Lab cats had been a thing for years, ostensibly for companionship, but also because their presence seemed to calm certain experiments involving quantum computing. When they reanalyzed those experiments post-abduction, they discovered anomalies, patterns in quantum fluctuations that only occurred when cats were present. Similar findings emerged worldwide. In Silicon Valley, programmers realized their neural networks had made inexplicable leaps forward whenever office cats were nearby. In Geneva, physicists at CERN unearthed correlations between feline proximity and breakthroughs in particle detection. It wasn't just science either. Artists reported that their most inspired works often came while their cats watched them paint or write. Musicians swore their best compositions were born under feline gazes. The pieces began to fit together. Cats had been subtly influencing human creativity and innovation for centuries, not through overt actions, but by existing as conduits for some kind of alien energy or intelligence. This revelation reignited humanity's determination to confront the Felidari. If cats had been instrumental in shaping human progress, then humans deserved answers, and maybe even reparations. The United Nations convened an emergency session to discuss a unified response. For once, there was no bickering over borders or ideologies. Everyone agreed on one thing: humanity would go after its cats. Massive efforts began to retrofit Earth's nascent space fleet for interstellar travel. Scientists reverse-engineered every scrap of alien technology left behind during the abductions. Hackers scoured encrypted signals for traces of Felidari communication. And then came the Bastion, Earth's first true warship, a gleaming colossus bristling with weapons and powered by engines derived from those mysterious quantum anomalies linked to cats. Its mission was simple: find the Felidari, demand explanations, and if necessary, bring back Earth's felines by force. As the Bastion roared into space amidst global cheers, humanity carried with it not just anger but hope. A hope that somewhere out there lay answers to questions that had haunted them since that fateful day when all the purring stopped. But deep down, everyone knew this was more than a rescue mission. It was a reckoning, a chance for humanity to prove that it was more than just a species shaped by alien intervention. It was time for humans to show what they could do when they fought not just for survival, but for love, even if that love came wrapped in fur and whiskers. And so began humanity's journey into the stars. 12 years had passed since the Felidari took the cats, and humanity was no longer the same. The grief of their absence had ignited a global revolution, not just in technology but in purpose. People who had once been content with quiet lives now found themselves driven by an unshakable determination. Scientists, engineers, artists, and dreamers all shared one goal: to reach the stars and confront the beings who had taken their companions. The loss of the cats had left an emotional void, but it also planted a seed of ambition. Millions of people, motivated by memories of their feline friends, poured into fields like astrophysics, engineering, and quantum computing. Universities saw record enrollment in STEM programs, and governments poured unprecedented funding into space exploration. Even children, once content to dream of being astronauts, now studied with fervor, inspired by the hope that they might one day reunite with the creatures they had loved. The results were staggering. In just over a decade, humanity had advanced at a pace that defied belief. Photonic propulsion systems allowed spacecraft to travel to Mars in just 3 days, a feat once thought impossible. Cities on Earth gleamed with new technologies derived from breakthroughs in energy generation and material science. Artificial intelligence became humanity's indispensable partner, assisting in everything from ship design to interstellar navigation. But it wasn't just technology that evolved. Humanity itself began to change. The loss of the cats had forced people to confront questions about their place in the universe. If cats had been sent as emissaries to guide human progress, what did it mean that humans had turned them into pets? This question haunted philosophers and theologians alike, sparking debates that reshaped cultures worldwide. The techno-alliance that emerged was unlike anything in human history. Nations that had once been adversaries now worked together seamlessly, pooling resources and knowledge in pursuit of a common goal. Private companies partnered with governments to build massive orbital shipyards where fleets of interplanetary vessels were constructed. The flagship of this new fleet was the Bastion, a colossal spacecraft designed not just for exploration, but for confrontation if necessary. Mars became humanity's proving ground. Colonies were established within years, not decades, as new propulsion systems and automated construction technologies made rapid expansion possible. What began as small research outposts grew into thriving cities under domes of transparent alloy. These Martian settlements became hubs for testing advanced technologies, terraforming systems, self-sustaining habitats, and even rudimentary artificial gravity. The speed of progress was dizzying. By the 12th year after the cat's departure, humanity was no longer bound by Earth's gravity well. Lunar bases served as way stations for missions deeper into the solar system, while asteroid mining operations provided the raw materials needed for interstellar endeavors. The dream of reaching Zeta 9c, the star system from which the Felidari message had originated, was no longer a distant fantasy, but an imminent reality. Yet beneath all this progress lay a simmering tension. Humanity's drive to advance was fueled as much by anger as it was by curiosity. The Felidari's message, that cats were sent to guide humanity, had been both humbling and infuriating. To many it felt like an insult, that humans could only achieve greatness with alien intervention. And then there was the matter of choice. If cats were emissaries, why hadn't humans been given a say in their departure? Why hadn't they been trusted to decide when they were ready? These questions gave rise to a movement known as the Reckoning. Its members believed humanity owed it to itself and to the memory of its feline companions to confront the Felidari and demand answers. Were humans merely a project, a cosmic experiment? Or did they have a destiny beyond what even the Felidari could foresee? By now the Bastion was ready for its maiden voyage beyond the solar system. It was more than a ship. It was a symbol of everything humanity had achieved since that fateful day when all the cats disappeared. Its hull bristled with cutting-edge weaponry powered by quantum reactors, but it also carried instruments designed for communication and diplomacy. Humanity wasn't going into space blindly. They were prepared for anything. The crew of the Bastion represented every corner of Earth and every walk of life. Scientists who had spent years unraveling the mysteries of Felidari technology worked alongside soldiers trained for extraterrestrial combat. Philosophers and linguists joined the mission to ensure humanity could articulate its demands or its grievances when they finally met their alien counterparts. As the Bastion prepared for launch from its orbital dockyard above Mars, billions watched from Earth and its colonies. The moment was historic. Humanity's first step toward becoming an interstellar species, and perhaps its first confrontation with an alien civilization. Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the Bastion, her voice steady as she addressed her crew over the intercom. "Today," she said, "we carry more than just ourselves into space. We carry the hopes and questions of an entire planet, a planet united not by conquest or survival, but by love and loss." She paused, letting her words sink in. "We don't know what we'll find out there," she continued, "but we do know this. We are not just seeking answers about them, we are seeking answers about ourselves." With that, she gave the order. "Engage photonic drive." A hum filled the ship as its engines activated, propelling it forward on beams of light so powerful they bent space itself. Within moments, the Bastion disappeared from view, leaving behind only a trail of shimmering particles. Humanity's journey into the unknown had begun. Not just to reclaim what was lost, but to discover what it truly meant to be human. And somewhere in the vastness of space, the Felidari waited, perhaps watching, perhaps unaware that their actions had sparked something far greater than they could have imagined. 12 years ago, they took the cats. Now humanity was coming for answers, and nothing would stop them from finding out why. The search for the Felidari had become humanity's obsession. Soldiers, scientists, and civilians alike had dedicated their lives to the mission, driven by a mix of love, loss, and a burning desire for answers. The disappearance of the cats had united humanity in a way no war or crisis ever could. 12 years of relentless effort had turned Earth into a technological powerhouse, and now humanity was no longer confined to its solar system. They were explorers, warriors, and diplomats, traveling from galaxy to galaxy in search of the beings who had taken their beloved companions. The fleet was vast, spearheaded by the Bastion, now joined by dozens of other ships, each one a marvel of engineering and ingenuity. These interstellar vessels carried humanity's best and brightest. Soldiers trained for combat in zero gravity, linguists prepared to decode alien languages, and scientists equipped with tools to analyze everything from atmospheric composition to advanced alien tech. Every ship bore the same emblem, a stylized cat's head surrounded by stars, a symbol of their mission and their resolve. The journey was long and arduous. Humanity visited countless planets, each one stranger than the last. On a gas giant, orbiting a dying star, they found a race of crystalline beings who communicated through vibrations but knew nothing of the Felidari. On a lush jungle world teeming with bioluminescent flora, they encountered amphibious creatures who traded memories as currency but had no knowledge of cats or their abductors. On the edge of a black hole's event horizon, they discovered an ancient derelict ship filled with cryptic carvings that hinted at the Felidari's existence but provided no clear answers. Every lead seemed to end in frustration. The Felidari were elusive, their trail growing colder with each passing year. Some began to lose hope. Whispers spread among the fleet that perhaps the Felidari were nothing more than myths, or that humanity had misunderstood their message entirely. But for every doubter, there were those who refused to give up, those who believed that somewhere out there lay the answers they sought. And then it happened. It was on the outskirts of an uncharted system in a galaxy far from Earth that humanity finally found what they were looking for. The planet appeared on their sensors as an anomaly, a massive celestial body shaped unmistakably like a cat's head. Its surface shimmered with an iridescent glow, and its two eyes radiated energy so intense it distorted space around them. The planet was surrounded by an armada of sleek silver ships, each one bearing markings that matched the energy signatures left behind during the abductions. The bridge of the Bastion erupted into chaos as officers scrambled to analyze the data flooding in from their sensors. Captain Elena Vasquez stood at the center of it all, her jaw clenched and her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the cat-shaped planet. "It has to be them," she said softly, her voice carrying a mix of awe and determination. The fleet moved into formation, their weapons powered but not yet armed. Humanity had come prepared for war if necessary, but their primary goal was still diplomacy, or at least an explanation. As the Bastion approached the planet, a beam of light shot out from one of its eyes, enveloping the ship in a golden glow. The crew braced for impact, but none came. Instead, they felt a strange warmth wash over them, a sensation that was both physical and emotional. It was as if they were being welcomed, and then came the voice. "Humans," it said, resonating not through speakers, but directly in their minds. It was calm and measured, yet carried an undeniable authority. "You have come far." Captain Vasquez stepped forward, addressing the voice with all the composure she could muster. "We are here for our cats. she said firmly. You took them from us without warning or explanation. There was a pause, a silence so profound it seemed to stretch across time itself. They were never yours, the voice replied finally. They are Felidari. They were our companions, Vasquez countered. Our friends, you may call them emissaries or observers or whatever you like, but to us they were family. Another pause followed before the voice spoke again, this time tinged with something that might have been regret, or perhaps curiosity. We underestimated you, it said. When we sent our kind to your world millennia ago, we did so with a purpose, to guide your development subtly and ensure your survival as a species capable of reaching beyond your planet. And yet you took them away, Vasquez said bitterly, without considering what they meant to us. We did not anticipate your attachment, admitted the voice. To us, they are more than mere companions. They are extensions of ourselves, vital to our existence as a collective consciousness. Then why take them back? Vasquez demanded. Because you no longer need them, came the reply. Your progress has surpassed even our expectations. You have become creators and explorers in your own right. That doesn't justify what you did, Vasquez shot back. You stole something precious from us, something irreplaceable. For a moment, there was no response. Then the golden light surrounding the bastion intensified and an image appeared before them. A massive chamber filled with cats, millions upon millions of them, all lounging contentedly under beams of soft light that seemed to emanate from nowhere. They are safe, said the voice, and they remember you. The sight brought tears to many on board the bastion. Some fell silent, others whispered names under their breath, names of cats they had lost and now saw again. But this is not enough, Vasquez said firmly after regaining her composure. We want them back. The voice hesitated before responding. Very well, it said finally. We will return some to you, not as pets, but as equals. A ripple of shock passed through the bastion. What did that mean? How could cats be equals? Before anyone could ask further questions, beams of light began streaming out from the planet toward Earth's fleet, and within each beam was a cat. They materialized aboard ships across the fleet, tabbies and tuxedos, Siamese and Maine Coons, kittens and elders alike, all appearing healthy and serene. But these were not ordinary cats anymore. Their eyes glowed faintly with an otherworldly light. Their movements carried an elegance that seemed almost supernatural. Their purring resonated like music infused with meaning beyond comprehension. They will guide you still, said the voice as its presence began to fade. But this time, as partners. And just like that, the connection was severed. Humanity had its cats back, but also something far greater. Proof that they were not alone in the universe, and perhaps never had been. As the Bastion turned back toward Earth with its precious cargo aboard, every crew member knew one thing for certain. This was only the beginning. The fleet hung in orbit above the cat-shaped planet, its engines humming with restrained power. The shimmering surface below seemed to pulse like a living entity, and the Felidari ships encircling it moved with eerie precision, their sleek forms gliding silently through the void. On board the Bastion, the tension was palpable. Every crew member knew this was it, the moment humanity had been fighting, building and dreaming toward for 12 long years. They were here to bring their cats home, and they would not leave without them. Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge, her hands gripping the railing as she stared at the holographic display of the Felidari planet. Around her, officers worked, feverishly at their stations, monitoring energy readings and preparing for whatever might come next. The Felidari had spoken to them, acknowledged humanity's presence, but their cryptic words had only deepened the mystery. "Status report," Vasquez barked. "Fleet is holding position," replied Commander Malik, her second in command. Weapon systems are armed but on standby. No hostile movements from the Felidari ships. And the planet? Vasquez asked. Still emitting those energy signatures, Malik said. It's like it's alive. Vasquez nodded grimly. It probably is. Everything about these beings defies what we understand. The golden beam that had enveloped the bastion earlier flickered back to life, bathing the ship in its warm glow. This time it was accompanied by a visual projection. A massive feline face materialized before them, its features both familiar and alien. Its eyes glowed with a light that seemed to pierce directly into their souls. "You have come far," said the voice again, resonating in their minds as much as in their ears. "Your determination is admirable." "We didn't come here for compliments," Vasquez said sharply, stepping forward. "We came for our cats." The feline face tilted slightly as if amused, or perhaps curious. "They were never yours to begin with," it said. "They were ours in every way that matters," Vasquez shot back. "You may have sent them to observe us or guide us or whatever your purpose was, but they became more than that. They became family." The face regarded her silently for a moment before responding. "You speak of attachment," it said. "Of bonds forged through affection and care. This is unexpected." "Unexpected?" Vasquez repeated incredulously. "You sent beings capable of love and companionship to live among us for thousands of years and didn't think we'd grow attached. What did you think would happen?" "We thought you would learn," the Felidari replied simply. "And you have." "Learn what?" Vasquez demanded. "To build spaceships? To explore the stars? We could have done that without losing them." "No," said the Felidari. "Not technology alone. You have learned something far greater. Unity born of love and loss." Vasquez clenched her fists. "We didn't need to lose them to learn that." "Perhaps not," admitted the Felidari. "But loss has made you stronger than we anticipated." The projection shifted, and suddenly the crew of the Bastion saw images flashing before them, scenes from Earth's history over the past 12 years, scientists working tirelessly in labs, soldiers training under harsh conditions, children studying late into the night with pictures of their lost cats taped to their desks, entire nations putting aside centuries of conflict to collaborate on humanity's greatest endeavor. "You have become more than we could have imagined," the Felidari said softly. "But your journey is not yet complete." Vasquez stepped closer to the projection, her voice low but firm. "We don't care about your tests or your plans for us. We're not leaving without our cats." The Felidari face seemed to consider this for a long moment before speaking again. "Very well," it said finally. "If you wish to reclaim them, you must prove yourselves worthy, not as individuals, but as a species." "What does that mean?" Vasquez asked warily. The projection faded, replaced by a new image. A massive structure rising from the surface of the planet. A labyrinthine complex of glowing corridors and towering spires shaped like feline forms. "This is the trial," said the Felidari voice. "A test of your resolve, your ingenuity, and your unity. Enter it as one, or fail as many." Before anyone could respond, beams of light shot out from the planet's surface, enveloping the Bastion and several other ships in the fleet. The next thing they knew, Vasquez and her crew were standing on solid ground, inside an enormous chamber filled with shifting walls and glowing symbols. "What just happened?" Malik muttered, looking around in confusion. "They've transported us into their trial," Vasquez said grimly. Around them, other teams from humanity's fleet appeared. Soldiers in combat gear, scientists clutching instruments, even diplomats and linguists who looked utterly bewildered by their surroundings. A voice echoed through the chamber. "Prove your worthiness by navigating the trial together. Only then will you earn back what you seek." "What kind of game are they playing?" Malik growled. It doesn't matter, Vasquez said firmly. We play to win. The walls began to shift and rearrange themselves into an intricate maze, filled with traps and puzzles, some physical, others mental or emotional in nature. Each challenge seemed designed not just to test individual skill, but to force cooperation among the teams. At one point, a soldier had to rely on a scientist's calculations to disable an energy barrier blocking their path. At another, a diplomat's ability to mediate between arguing factions proved crucial when tensions flared under pressure. Hours turned into days as they navigated the trial together, facing dangers that pushed them to their limits but also brought out their best qualities: courage, ingenuity, compassion. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they reached the heart of the trial, a massive chamber filled with light so bright it was almost blinding. And there they were. Millions upon millions of cats lounged peacefully under beams of golden light, each one healthy and serene, but unmistakably changed. Their eyes glowed faintly with an otherworldly energy. Their movements carried an elegance that seemed almost supernatural. "They are yours once more," said the Felidari voice as it echoed through the chamber one final time. "But remember this. They are not merely pets or companions, they are partners in your journey toward greatness." As humans reunited with their cats, tears streaming down faces hardened by years of struggle, it became clear that this was more than just a victory. It was a new beginning. Humanity had proven itself, not just to the Felidari but to itself, and now stood ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, together. And somewhere deep within that cat-shaped planet, the Felidari watched silently, wondering if perhaps they too had underestimated what humans were capable of when driven by love and an unyielding desire for justice.